Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
When the hot water needs to be hot, when the drain needs to drain, when the toilet needs to flush, you need to do two things. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. On call and there when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. I love stuff like this. BuzzFeed put together a list of actors who turned down major roles for various reasons. And I love this stuff. It's like, wow, that's the person they went with first.
I love that they have the reasons behind it, too. Not just like, oh, they said no to whatever, Pootie Tang. And you don't know why. Because why would someone turn down Pootie Tang?
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. I mean, it was just Chris Rock was smart. You know, he didn't do it.
No, he knew what's up.
He knew. Lily Allen, I don't know much about Lily Allen, to be honest with you.
She's a singer.
That's what I thought. I thought the name sounded familiar, but I didn't know her as an actress.
I think she was the one who did the recent Sublime cover of Summertime.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So she's a British chick.
She turned down the...
I think that's actually what she refers to herself as.
Yeah, British chick. She turned down the role of Yara in Game of Thrones because she'd have to do sex scenes with the character Theon, who was played by her real-life brother Alfie Allen. Oh, I didn't realize they were okay. So that's her brother.
So did the casting director know that ahead of time, or just didn't even put two and two together? Because that seems like a really twisted thing to do. Like, we've got a role for you. Awesome. Who do I get to be? You get to have sex with Perseus, or whatever the person's name is.
Perseus.
And it turns out that's actually played by your brother. Don't worry, it's not weird at all.
Well, the characters are brother and sister. And they have like a pseudo sex scene. So I'm wondering, they're like, oh, it'd be funny if we got your real sister in on this.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah.
I mean, for the movie or the show, if that, do whatever you want. But like, if you know what I mean, like that would be really weird if all of a sudden, like, let's just say Sarah's in the world of acting, and so is Joe. And they're both doing their thing, and then all of a sudden they're like, we got this role, it's huge, this is going to be a show that's going to take over the world, people are going to talk about it all the time. Awesome, I'll do it. The only problem is that you're going to be acting alongside your brother or sister as siblings. Cool. And you're going to have to make out. No, I'm out.
Technically, they didn't make out. Like, in the show, they were riding a horse together, and he didn't recognize her because he hadn't seen his sister in, like, 15 years or something. And he was, like, hitting on her and doing a little something, and she was just like, you're funny. That's, okay, I see you're doing that. And then later he finds out that's his sister.
I just think back to the episode, that Friends reunion show when they talked about Ross and Rachel first kissing. And then we find out on that Friends reunion show on HBO Max that there was like sexual tension between the two of them. They were into each other. And the big fear was they were going to finally hook up, but it's going to be for the show. But they actually like put all that like tension and frustration into that first kiss. Like, you know what I mean? So like when someone's like, oh, I'm just acting, there's nothing weird about it. It's like, no, that's an intimate thing. I definitely don't want to do that with my sibling or my family member.
Well, and plus, if you know that, I mean, that's not something that's cool. I mean, we've gotten used to the fact that, okay, there are people who are going to do sex scenes and kissing scenes with people who are not their girlfriends, boyfriends, spouses, whatever. We've sort of accepted that, all right, you get that that's acting. But I don't think in any situation a brother and sister kissing is something that anybody feels good about, even if you're supposedly acting. It's like, no, I'm with Steve on this. They planned to have sex scenes when they pitched it, Vicky, apparently, but then I guess they decided not to have it after all. But according to this story, there were going to be sex scenes at least when it was pitched to Lily.
And she's not even really an actress. She's done a few video shorts here and there, but almost everything she does, she's herself.
She finally gets an acting gig, but you have to make out with your brother.
Hey.
Like, I'm going to stick with singing.
Yeah, I'm with Steve. What were they thinking? It's like nobody in society wants brothers, sisters kissing. And if you know they're both brother and sister as you're watching the show, you're going to not be cool with that. It was like already trippy that we had two characters that were brother and sister on the show that were regularly having sex with each other. That was like the most shocking thing of the show. And they were really going to have a real life couple in another set of characters do that on Game of Thrones? That's just nuts.
One texter says there's a scene where he reaches around and grabs her the hoots. Yeah.
Well, all right. So then that is a sex scene, Vicky.
It's not a traditional one. It's just like a squeeze. So I'm wondering if they're
my
like, oh, we
God.
can get away with this. I'm not saying it was a good idea. I'm just thinking this is probably their dumb reasoning.
Well, but no, that is a sex scene, so I could see why Lily said no.
Oh, I wouldn't do that with my brother.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So I think Thanksgiving, the next Thanksgiving and Christmas, kind of weird.
Yeah. Just a bit.
Stay away from the turkey, yo.
Can you pass me the potatoes and stop grabbing my boobs in TV shows?
Yeah, that is nuts to me that they thought that would be okay. Steve, they must not have realized they were the same. They must not have realized they were related.
No,
they
I feel somebody knew.
I think somebody hated Alfie.
Maybe
the casting director wanted to get rid of Alfie. He's like, you know how we get rid of him? We cast his sister and they have to touch each other.
Wow. Well,
I don't know.
That would have been bad because Alfie was really awesome on that show. Liam Neeson turned out the role of James Bond, which I didn't know he was up for the role of James Bond.
Dude, Liam Neeson would be the greatest James Bond.
Well, blame his wife because she said she wouldn't marry him if he took the role. Like, I wonder what her problems with James Bond. Maybe she thinks he's, I don't know, setting the wrong example. I don't, or maybe she thought Liam would be attracted to a bunch of women if he played that character.
Or a lot of women would be attracted to him because he's James Bond.
So is that why he takes all these roles where like family members are kidnapped or killed because he's mad at his
she
wife?
wants that. Well, that's okay. You see, that means I'll know you'll protect me if I get kidnapped. You can take those roles, Liam. Okay.
Do you think it was a scheduling thing? Like maybe they had like a big anniversary coming up and the filming was going to happen around that time.
That's a good call.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you tell your husband not to take an iconic role like that? Like something that will, like, his legacy will live on forever.
Well, she said she wouldn't marry him. That's that to me is weird. So I don't know. Maybe the filming was happening during, I guess, their supposed wedding day. But my gosh, that's a lot of dough to turn down just for your wedding day. I'd be like, look, sweetheart, you know how much more money we're going to get? I will give you a fantastic wedding day if you let me take this role. Unless, of course, she's like, no, I don't want you being the eye of all the women out there. Don't do it. All right. Well, yeah, they probably should have just had him. But if it was a brother-sister role, that would be okay.
That's just crazy, man. I just tell someone, like, no, you can't be James Bond.
Drew Barrymore turned down the role of Sidney Prescott in the Scream movies because she was sick of the final girl horror movie cliche.
Oh, and the way they did it with her was so amazing, too, because they had her as, like, the premier person on the movie posters and the trailers and stuff, and then she just gets wasted in the first scene.
Yeah.
And then at that point, all the rules are out for the movie, and totally in.
Who is Sidney in Scream?
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This one is amazing. And look, this actor has had a good career, no doubt about it. She's done a great job on Homeland. But this is amazing that, who was the woman in Titanic, Danny? I forget her name.
Kate Winslet.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't remember Kate Winslet's name. I really like her.
Close, Steve.
How about Kate Winslet wasn't the first choice? They went to Claire Danes first.
Oh, that makes sense.
And she was like, I've already done a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing with Leo. I don't want to do another one. So she turned down that role.
Yeah, she literally did Romeo and Juliet the year before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1996, and then Titanic was 1997.
So how exhausting is doing like romance scenes with Leonardo DiCaprio where you're like, yeah, I just can't do that again with that guy.
Apparently enough back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, of course, Titanic goes on to be this ridiculously huge movie, and she said no to that. Wow. Damn.
Do you think the movie would have hurt with her, or do you think it would have just been fine either way?
I think it would have been good, and I think they would actually, because the Romeo and Juliet they did is actually kind of a cult classic, so I think it would have actually been.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's the best, and so at that point, I think it might have been just as big, or maybe even bigger with Claire Danes. But you know,
it's hard to say because Kate Winslet was really good in that role.
No, she was. I'm not saying
it's
she
hard to
wasn't,
say. Yeah.
Do you think there was also a fear maybe like it would almost be like was it Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan for a while where you felt like they were going to just be in every movie together?
Oh,
maybe
right.
She had
Yeah.
this fear like I don't want to be stuck with Leonardo DiCaprio in every film.
This one is wild. This one is really, really wild. Two people turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix. We've heard about Will Smith because he said he didn't want to be known as the alien guy, I guess because he also, did Men in Black.
And he also had Wild Wild West that he wanted to do, which was a very important film.
It was.
Yeah, that was
fantastic
a mistake.
movie.
It's huge.
Yeah. That was a mistake. But we also learned, though, that the Wachowskis seemed very stoned when they did the pitch meeting and the way they explained what The Matrix was going to be about. And Will's like, what are you guys high? I don't even know what you're talking about. But he's not the only one that turned down the role. So Keanu wasn't the first choice, but one of Keanu's co-stars, big co-stars, actually was the one that got the shot before him. And she said no. And that's right. They were going to change the role to have Neo be a female character if Sandra Bullock would have said yes. And she said no. Sandra Bullock would have been Neo in The Matrix if she said yes before they went to Keanu.
Was she in The Matrix?
No.
I meant a speed co-star. I should have said speed co-star.
I was like, I couldn't remember if she was or
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm like, that's interesting if she didn't want to be the star.
But it is funny that they were they were action movie co-stars together, and they would have chosen, they were thinking about her as Neo before they thought about him.
I mean, of the two, Speed, way better film.
Steve?
Wow. You are really
Would
just...
you like to make a retraction
No,
immediately?
he's
sir?
you can see his face. He knows
10
Matrix
out of
is
10
my
times.
favorite
Yeah, I
movie.
come over to Danny's house. He's like, hey, I only own 2 movies and we need to watch a movie. It's going to be either Speed or Matrix. I'm going to make Speed every single time.
Oh, man, you are off my Christmas card list.
Yeah, and Danny, Danny, have you seen The Matrix?
I have never seen either of those movies.
Oh,
so
my
I have no
gosh!
idea what's
Oh,
happening
wow,
right now.
that's
I'm
pretty...
sorry to
look,
throw you into this.
It's fine. We're going to watch Titanic, so it's all good.
yeah, I don't see them making the Speed 4, Steve. When are they going to make Speed 4? Oh, yeah,
Because
they're
after
not.
Speed 2, they realize they've done all they can.
Yeah,
And maybe
well,
You're not wrong.
Matrix should have followed suit.
Oh,
Well, there are
After
people
the
that would
first.
agree with you on
Killing
that,
me.
but still.
Come on, you guys don't really think Matrix 2 is good.
it's amazing. It's got
Matrix-
one of the best action scenes ever. The
Yeah.
freeway scene.
Yeah, Matrix
And
2
those
is
ghost
good.
dudes fighting was so cool. Oh, you jerk.
It's not as good as Matrix 1, but it is good for its own reasons. And a lot of people hate Matrix 3, which I
I'm
loved
pretty
it.
sure
I loved it for
Matrix-
different reasons.
Matrix
But,
2 might have been the first movie I ever fully fell asleep on in a theater.
Really?
Yes.
There was a lot going on. You must have just not cared about anything.
Do you
must have-
remember that he fell asleep during the Superman movie where Superman's getting shot with a gigantic machine chain gun in
Yeah.
a empty theater with all of the sound blasting, and he was there
He was just-
sawing
he was
logs?
done. Yeah.
In all
Yeah.
fairness, I fell asleep before that happened, so I was already in a deep sleep. I
But
fell
you
asleep
slept
during the
right
opening
through
credits.
it.
All fairness. Yeah. Oh man, whatever.
I'm honest with you guys, man. It's Speed over Matrix any day of the week.
All right.
This last one that BuzzFeed's talking about, actors that turn down movies, another iconic role. I mean, would we know Samuel L. Jackson? Would he be the iconic actor in our lives if, in fact, he did not get this role? And of course, here's the sad thing. The person that they went to before Samuel L. Jackson is the person they always confuse with Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was offered the role of Jules in Pulp Fiction before Sam.
Oh, he
And-
doesn't have that yelly vibe that Sam Jackson has that made that movie so perfect.
See, sometimes, they don't, sometimes great actors bring stuff to a role that even the writers and directors had no idea could be done. I mean, and I believe you're absolutely right, Rev. Who knows what Lawrence Fishburne would have brought to that role that would have made it completely different. And I wonder if the movie would have been as iconic because Samuel L. Jackson really made that a great movie because of his character.
Yeah, I can't picture Lawrence Fishburne being that character at
Yeah,
all.
So why did Lawrence Fishburne say no? And this is really interesting. I mean, people have their reasons. Lawrence felt that Pulp Fiction made heroin use look attractive, which it also scared the crap out of me. See, I would say Lawrence, when they had to restart Her Damn Heart because she was done, I'm like, yeah, I don't ever want to use drugs.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I got
right?
out of that movie, Lawrence. So it didn't make it attractive to me.
Pretty good PSA there.
That scene is so intense.
Yeah, very
You feel like
intense.
you're going to have a heart attack while watching that.
Yeah, and so that didn't make drug use attractive to me. That just reinforced what they taught me in the 60s. Don't do it, kids. You die.
What's up with this Lawrence Fishburne and his morals?
Yeah, really. What's he thinking?
Picking
What the hell?
roles because of his faith or whatever.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Friggin' Lawrence.
Be a sellout, Lawrence. Come on.
Yeah, that's what Steve would do.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
A burst pipe at 3 a.m. is a bad way to start the day. A cold shower in November isn't invigorating. So before you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is just one call away 24 hours a day. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Your home equity. It could be an untapped opportunity instead of an untouchable asset. Introducing HomeTap. HomeTap is an investor, not a lender. They give you cash in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Use it to pay off debt, make renovations, fund a business, or just live a better life. There's no interest or monthly payments to worry about. HomeTap. Get more from home ownership. Get more from life. Subject to eligibility, terms and conditions apply. Visit HomeTap.com to apply in minutes. That's HomeTap.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. This next story pisses me off, Steve, because
Why?
this should have been this was me. Somebody should have been talking about me on all the radio stations all over the country, but there was no TikTok back in my day.
Dude, I thought about that when I saw this story. I was just like, man, if there was social media, you would have been a social media viral hit because you did something just like this.
The TikTok user's name is Don't Touch My Face. That's a great name.
Actually a really good name.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree to that. Can I be Don't Touch Your Face too?
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, you also don't want to be tickled, so you should be Don't Tickle Me.
2. I'm sure there's already one person out there that has it.
Right.
So she's got a video. It's a him, as a matter of fact. And this is where he picked up in the in-store intercom, at her job. Okay. Well,
It's
anyway.
a female. Yeah, I don't know. There must have been a typo.
Yeah, all right. Well, it is. So anyway, what she did is she works at Ross Dress for Less, and she went on a rant about her manager on the intercom, and then, of course, quit her job.
All attention, overall shoppers and sales associates. This is an announcement for your store manager, Carrie. Carrie, you're a compulsive liar, spineless, and an overall horrible manager. Your work ethic is trash and your management skills are non-existent. You're genuinely a terrible person, and I'm happy to not be dealing with you or your stank attitude anymore. Thank you for shopping at Ross. Have a lovely day.
I like.
Did she say stank attitude?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to use that.
And she, you know what? I really, really appreciate the fact that she scripted it. She had something she was reading from. She really, she wanted to make sure she got it the right way.
And I feel like she really did up her makeup, dressed to impress. Like, I think this was very calculated. It wasn't like this was like something that just happened on a whim. She came in fully knowing that this is the day for her to become a star.
You're right,
on
Steve.
TikTok.
You're right. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to show off my assets. Here I go. So she wore a perfect outfit for herself. She's got her mask on. Yeah, she's all dolled up, and she's like, let me now tell you the story.
Can we hear it again? Because I feel like I missed a few of like the insults that she delivered towards her manager.
Oh, she had some good stuff. I mean, basically, everything she said, Steve, yeah.
All attention, overall shoppers and sales associates. This is an announcement for your store manager, Carrie. Carrie, you're a compulsive liar, spineless, and an overall horrible manager. Your work ethic is trash and your management skills are non-existent. You're genuinely a terrible person, and I'm happy to not be dealing with you or your stank attitude anymore. Thank you for shopping at Ross. Have a lovely day.
I'm going to tell you something, man.
Plus, she's a Kiss fan. She's showing on one of her things a makeup tutorial of the Eric Carr makeup, which is a deep cut for. Oh, it's not even like the typical Kiss makeup. It was when they had the character Fox, which was Eric Carr.
Oh, right. Okay,
that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of reasons to like her, Steve.
Yeah. She's
if you were a younger man and you were single, I think this might be somebody you might say, hey, well, except she might quit you.
A stretch. I just think that she's cool because she has makeup on. I'm not looking for.
I'm
not looking to go back to past Steve to find my new past wife.
Yeah, well. She probably would quit anyway. I don't know. I'd be afraid to date her because what if she put out a video saying she's breaking up with me over video?
Oh, gosh, right.
You know what I mean?
I could just enjoy a video. I don't need to date the person.
I'm just, I really like to just imagine myself with somebody who I think is cool. Because she is in alignment with me because I did the same thing. I went on the intercom and I just berated my boss one time. And she said that nobody tried to stop her from doing this as she was doing it because she said everybody agrees with her.
Or does everybody not like her and was like, hey, we want to see her leave.
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead, do that, Sheila. Don't touch my face. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you know what, Steve? That's very possible. Either way, everyone wins. I mean, who doesn't? Look, I'm sure at some point, no matter how good the boss is, any boss has probably pissed somebody off. So anytime somebody gets on and says the boss is a douche, you love it. And then if it is Sheila, the bad employee who's going to leave anyway, that's a double win.
I will say my mom worked at Ross after she retired.
She did?
Yeah, that was like her retirement job that she just – because there was one right down the street from her house. And she said that incidents like this happen all the time at the Ross.
Maybe they had the same manager.
I know, right?
Well, what if it's the same guy? Like, what if she's from New Mexico and, like, all of a sudden you realize that this "Don't Touch My Face" was actually like your mom's coworker?
She'd be like, "Yep, probably."
You know what really fascinates me.
I just googled Ross Dress for Less,
Yes.
and the first thing it says is Ross Dress for Less is hiring. I don't know if that was like something.
well, actually, at that one store, yes. Well, I will give Ross credit. They, as soon as somebody leaves, they let you know that you have an opening.
If you like flexible scheduling, a team environment, and working for someone who has a stank attitude,
there we go.
Apply today.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because, I'm not going to mention names, but I heard that certain companies are getting rid of certain managers who are loved because they're really good at their job because they make too much money. Because they're going, you know what? You're making too much money. We're going to fire you and bring in somebody new who we're going to get for cheaper. And then what happens is, well,
they have a stank attitude.
Basically, you have your great manager for X amount of dollars. Then for minus X amount of dollars, you get your stank ass manager with a stank ass attitude. What do you expect? Because employees are not making anything at certain places in retail. They just don't make a lot of money. So I used to give people coffee. I'd say, hey, let's go bowling. I would do with the people that were under me. I would just know that they're not making a lot, so let's make it fun. And I would make it fun so that they would be motivated to come to work and not be idiots. And instead, people don't do that. And I got in trouble for that. They were like, I hear you. They said, the manager brought me and said, I hear you're bribing people in your department. I go, what do you mean bribing people? And they go, well, I hear that, to get them to work, you're giving them coffee and stuff. And I go, yeah. And
someone's phone going off?
Is that me? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
It sounded like a GPS thing.
No, it's not me.
No?
No, and my phone's on silent.
Not me.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Oh.
Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Nope, wasn't me.
Do you think that we're being monitored?
By who?
Them.
Are they trying to sell me squat racks? Because then I would say yes, because that's all I got on my Facebook feed.
Oh,
right
you
now.
want
What the hell's a squat rock?
Squat rack?
Oh, okay. That sounds a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense there.
What? Oh, is that an exercise thing?
Yeah, it's like a rack that you use
Well-
when you squat. It's not like a lady. It's not a lady with a giant breast that squats in front of you. Although I would buy one of those.
Okay. Squat racks would be great.
I thought it was something like the squatty potty or something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing over
See,
there?
now that's what shows up on my feed.
yeah, right.
By the way, this is going to shock all of you, but you know what, Steve? I've never had an ad for that show up on my
you
feed.
will now. Now that I've said it.
If I have an ad, if they actually put the squat rack on my feed,
I hope
it'll
so.
be like, are you people insane? Do you know that I have not done an ounce of working out in my body in my life? There's no way I'm buying this. Dear Facebook, you don't know who I am. At some point, I think they got to go, wait a second, are we sure we should put it on his feed? He's the guy that's got candy all over his feed.
We should switch back to the M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking at Steve's feed has got all these people in really good shape, looking really good. And I know what my feed looks like. And it's like, I don't even want Steve to look at my feed. I mean, I'm embarrassed to have Steve look at my feed because all it is board games and misery.
You look up one thing once, and all of a sudden it's just like nonstop.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah.
It's so frustrating. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they are.
I'm impressed that there's no porn there. I will say I am impressed for you.
Well, I don't think Facebook does that.
Oh,
So,
well, all right. So then you're saved that way.
I mean, they should. It would take me a lot of searching time off my time later on.
right?
There is that.
Facebook reached a whole new level of creepy ad placement for me recently. Because normally, we joke, we say something like, the Squatty Potty, and then next thing you know, your phone's listening to you and giving you ads for Squatty Potty. But I did this thing where I have a wine rack. I don't drink wine, but I buy all the cheap stuff anytime there's a sale, $2, $3 bottles of wine to make it look like I'm sophisticated. So the other day,
How's that working out for you?
It's not. When my friends are like, oh, I want to drink this. It's like, really? It's just all sugar. This is juice. What are you doing? But I pulled out one. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't do anything, didn't search it. And the next day, I think my phone's camera might have picked it up or something. I'm getting ads for this bottle of wine that I've only purchased once months ago.
Oh, yeah. It's
Right? I didn't say it out loud, didn't do anything. I think my phone was like somewhere else, and I'm now getting ads for this wine.
They know.
Mulder was right. It's the aliens that are doing this.
Yes.
Zuckerberg's the alien.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe
look
it.
at that guy. I'm sorry, he's not from this planet.
He's wearing like one of those exoskeleton, like from the Men in Black, how he has that human robot
Oh,
suit.
jeez.
Yeah, he's got the human robot
He's
suit.
just a teeny tiny little alien inside.
I gotta be honest with you. If look, not to pick on the guy, but if I have a human robot suit, I think I'm gonna go look like The Rock. I'm not gonna look like Mark Zuckerberg. 'Cause that's a bad choice for Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, well, maybe he's afraid though, then you'll be noticed more.
Oh, good
You
call.
blow your cover if all of a sudden we see you swole.
You're right. So, and you know what? He slid right in. But see, now he gets to change his suit, doesn't he? I mean, now we all know he's Mark Zuckerberg. Wouldn't it be great if he just showed up looking like a completely different guy? It'd be like, I don't even care anymore. I'm an alien. I don't care if you know. Here we go. So they talk to people, and this is interesting to me because I was trained this way, and I'm wondering if you guys do the same thing. They ask people if they separate their whites and colors when they do laundry.
No.
No,
Wow.
never does. Too
Whoa,
much work,
wow.
man.
Every time,
Wow.
I always tell myself I should probably be better at that. I'm like, I've never noticed that. A, I don't wear anything that's white, so it really doesn't like. Not even my socks. Like, there's not a single thing on my other than like a Britney Spears shirt I lounge around in my house in. That's a white T-shirt. For the most part, I'm never wearing anything that has is predominantly white. So why am I going to waste my time separating things?
And are you the laundry person in your house, or okay? So you do. So your wife doesn't have any whites, or she doesn't care.
I think she just realizes, look, if I'm going to get my husband to do the laundry, I should probably keep the rules to a minimum.
Pick your battles on that.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So she'll be like, hey, please don't put the washcloths, the towels that we use to clean the dishes and all that kind of crap in the same load as our clothes. I try and keep with that, but sometimes
Is there any reason for that?
she feels that she can still smell the dirty dish towels on her clothes afterwards. So I'll typically just throw them in with my stuff, my hockey gear or my wrestling stuff, because I don't care. But I try and keep it away from her stuff.
I feel like your hockey gear is worse.
It is.
I mean, you're gonna. Yeah. I mean, it's like the dish towels.
That's
please.
also a rule. Do not wash my clothes with your hockey gear.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Dish towels are asking, please, Steve, don't put us in with your hockey gear.
Right.
Put us anywhere besides there.
See, I don't do the whites and darks thing separate, but my girlfriend makes fun of me because I separate my laundry based on what it is. So underwear and gym clothes go in one, pants go in a different pile, and then shirts go in a different pile.
Really?
And she thinks that I'm weird for that.
You are, yeah. She's
All right, fair enough.
Why? So you will do all your pants together, all your underwear, gym clothes together, and all your shirts together.
Yes.
So you won't wash those together? You won't
Why?
mix cross streams?
No, there's too much of it usually, and it'll overload my washer. So there has to be some kind of sorting, and that just made sense in my mind when I.
But what
started
if you're in
doing
a
my
pants
laundry.
crisis and you haven't washed any of your pants?
Then I'll
Babe, I'm
throw-
having a pants crisis.
I mean, you just all you got to do is keep them in one area, and you just go. I fill up the machine to the place where I know it is, and then that's the first load.
Or do
you just
you-
right. You don't do. I mean, you don't have
That's
to
what I
sort.
Or do you do different type of cycles? Where it says heavy load or extra fabric softener or whatever. Do you change it up?
No.
Everything stays the same thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it turns on with is what it's getting washed like.
I don't want to break the washer by changing the settings.
The only time I change the settings is if I'm in a massive rush, and I'll turn that knob to quick wash.
Right.
That's about as crazy as I get with that.
Oh wow! So you
Blankets,
guys are you
comforters. They're all going.
Yeah.
They're all going in the same way.
Oh,
They don't
really?
like it. They don't get washed,
Well, if they don't like it, they start making the doo 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 noise.
and they don't do that. So they seem to be okay with it. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. If you actually then I'm wondering if they're just faking us out. If you can put everything on the same setting and you don't notice a problem, Steve, then why do we have different settings?
Yeah.
I do notice, when I do blankets, though, in my washer is a newer one. It hates me, and it just starts making a loud thumping noise, so I know I overfilled it. So I usually do, there's a bedding setting that I have to switch it on so it doesn't make that noise and scares me in the middle of the night.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess I'm. I mean,
So you separate the whites from the darks?
Again, I was raised at a time. Of course, you did. You were, and because you use different temperatures of water to clean whites as you do coloreds. So that's why you have to separate them.
I mean, I was kind of raised that way too because I, lived with my grandparents. But at the same point in time, it was just I figured technology at this point in time has gone beyond that, and I don't need to worry about it anymore.
This text says I had no
made
idea.
that assumption that they somehow changed the way water temperature works.
Well, other things, technology, they've got better washing machines than the washing board you used back in the day.
But it's the water. That's why. That's the whole idea. Separating the colors and the whites are just about the water temperature for the most part. The washing machine still does the same thing. It just goes. I mean, for the most part.
I'm wondering if just fabric in general is a lot better, so it doesn't bleed as much.
Well, I never take that chance, Vicky. If I buy anything new that's got any kind of color in it, I will never put it in with whites because that'll be that one time where I'm going, even if it's like if it's white but it's got like a colored pattern, I'm like, I am not putting this in with the whites because I do not want to get yelled at for basically having pink shirts and all this ridiculousness because I thought, well, it should be fine. I mean, come on. Things don't bleed anymore, do they? They do.
This texter says, I had no idea I was listening to an episode of Martha Stewart and How to Do Laundry.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out pretty much, more people are like me. I feel good about it because only a third of the people are like you guys.
Lazy.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Dude, just be happy things are getting cleaned. If you don't like it, do it yourself. That's my mentality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And luckily, my wife doesn't care. Like, it's never been an issue. She's just happy that that's one less chore she has to worry about. I don't mind doing the laundry. Like, it's actually kind of like, I find my Zen mode when I'm like folding laundry and stuff.
Yeah, it's the easiest task ever. Man. I mean, really, you throw it in, the machine does everything, or in your case, Steve, you just throw it in and who cares? And then you just get to fold it. Men, though, still are much more likely to say they never do laundry. And 4% of the respondents said they never do laundry, which those are the lucky ones.
What are they, 12?
Yeah.
I didn't do laundry until I was probably 19.
What?
Yeah, my mom didn't make me do laundry when I lived with her.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't until I went to college I had to learn how to use I remember having my mom teach me how to use a washing machine.
Yeah, I had no idea how to do it.
And it wasn't like as if like we were being just ungrateful kids. My mom would not let us anywhere near the washer and dryer.
I don't blame her. I wouldn't want you near there because you could break it.
Yeah, you could ruin stuff, yeah.
You put all the soap in one. That's what I did.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, because you used to use the Tide powdered kind, and I was just like, about 7 scoops works. These clothes are really stinky.
Yeah, because you're like, I really got to get this clean. Oh, yeah.
My mom after that was just like, no, you're not doing laundry.
You're done. Good call, though, by the way. That's how to get out of chores.
Yeah, right. Do it so bad they don't want you to do it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, you guys. You know what? The Rev's answer is the best. I assume technology figured it out, so I'm good.
Yeah. Why not?
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's another question from a listener. I'm getting my wages garnished. Can bankruptcy help with that?
Absolutely. One of the big reasons people file bankruptcy is because they have a judgment or a lawsuit against them, or their wages are getting garnished, and so they can't pay their other regular ongoing bills. People sometimes think that you can't file bankruptcy once they have a judgment against them or once a garnishment has started, and that's not true. Filing bankruptcy will immediately stop any garnishment that you have going, except for child support, and stop your creditors from continuing on with garnishments of your bank account, your wages, and in most cases will discharge that liability through the bankruptcy process. And we can file a bankruptcy case for you usually the day you come in.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.